What's happening, community? Hope you're all having a great start to the new year. We're back again with another community video. However, due to the holidays, we weren't able to get everyone together to do our full podcast episode. So today, we're sharing a discussion I had with DT3 and Leaves on stream the other night, discussing certain exotics and their current state, particularly Hawkmoon. Enjoy the video. Please let us know what you think in the comments below, and feel free to put your opinion in there as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Happy New Year once again, and I hope to catch you over on the live stream. Peace out.
2, 3,
So, like,
4.
when you look at Europa, right, we have these sprawling spaces, we have these empire hunts, which are story missions, like from
Sure.
the story that they just
There it is.
copy pasted, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have the raid, and we have the Bray exercise, the challenge, the simulation thing we just did, right? That's the DLC, and that they added legendary lost sectors. That's it.
But yeah, if you
So-
look at Shadowkeep, you had you get 3 different nightmare hunts.
Which
You
aren't
had the
new.
dungeon.
Well,
they
nightmare
weren't.
hunts were new. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
because
but
they're new
the
Shadowkeep.
strike, they're based off of old strikes. They're not new.
The bosses.
I'm just
are.
being devil's advocate.
Yeah, the bosses are, but not the activity themselves. These
Yeah,
activities that we're doing are the exact same playthroughs as
Yeah.
the story mission. Copy paste.
Yeah.
And then you have the
nightmare hunts are
raid.
not.
Yeah, you have the raid.
The Nightmare Hunts were almost the exact same from, or not the Nightmare Hunts. What am I thinking of? The story missions that you could do, right? That was the.
Yeah, that's not the story
Yeah, not
missions.
those.
Are
No.
story missions. That's not what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. The nightmare
you're talking
hunts.
about the
You had
nightmares,
9
yeah.
of them, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
6 or 9 of them, and
I think it was
they were
9.
new areas and like not new areas, but they were not the same as when you encounter these like in the strike or
Yeah.
in the story missions.
Then you had the Pit of Heresy.
Dungeon.
The fact that we don't have a
sure.
dungeon yet, and it
Oh,
was
you
an
do.
amazing dungeon.
You do.
Altar of Sorrows.
You do have a
What's
dungeon
up?
though. You have prophecy.
What dungeon? Prophecy is not a Beyond Light dungeon. It's last season's dungeon.
No,
I think
it's a Beyond Light dungeon that was introduced last season because of the delay.
Oh, okay.
It's a
See,
Beyond Light dungeon.
I came back in the game when Prophecy came out, so I thought like Prophecy wasn't even part of Beyond Light.
I'm pretty sure prophecy was pushed out early to make up for the fact that the season got delayed so much. But I
Is it because
consider
I-
prophecy as a Beyond Light dungeon.
You see, I don't think so, to be honest with you, because I remember the game didn't get delayed till after I was playing Prophecy, because the game got delayed after. Because I came back when the game was supposed to come out in September, when Beyond Light was supposed to come out, and I came back to Prophecy because that's
I
how
mean-
I met you.
And I guess in close defense, though, the prophecy is about Beyond Light.
It is about it, yeah, but
I don't see them releasing such an epic activity as a dungeon mid-season. That's not happening. They released that to make up for the fact that the season was delayed 100%. I have no doubt in my mind. But with that said, let's count it that there was one dungeon each. I don't think there's an activity in the DLC that compares to the Nightmare Hunts. I think the Empire Hunts are a joke compared to them. And Altar of Sorrows as a public PvE event to farm gear. And then nightmares that were spread out throughout the system. Plus, was it 2 strikes introduced or 1?
we got I think only one.
Well, one new strike and then one rehash.
Yeah, 1 reprised one. But nothing was taken away. Biggest difference.
We're not talking about what was taken away. We're talking about what was added.
Right, but what was added is slightly more than what was added to this season, but this feels so underwhelming because of what was taken away. In my opinion.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I just don't like it.
You don't like what I'm saying, or you don't like that it
Yep.
happened?
I don't like what you're saying.
Because
I'm not saying I don't agree. I just
Nope.
don't like it.
well, debate. Let's debate. Why don't you like? I mean, it's the reality. It is slightly less. It's not significantly less, but it is slightly less than Shadowkeep. But the only reason that it feels less is because they took so much away. If
I
they
mean, the reason
wouldn't have-
I don't like it is because I do count the Empire Hunts as the same thing as the Nightmare Hunts.
I don't think
They have. I feel like, in all honesty, they have the same replayability.
Well, that's your preference. I don't feel that way. And there was more Nightmare Hunts than there were Empire Hunts.
How many? There's like 5, isn't there?
There is
Four?
9
This-
Empire Hunts, and there is
There's
sorry, 9
nine
Nightmare
Empire
Hunts.
Hunts? Yeah, nightmare
9
hunts,
Nightmare,
yeah.
sorry. And how many Empire? I think
Is there
3 Empire? I think it's only 3 Empire Hunts.
Is it 3? 3 or 4?
I'm pretty sure. I think it's 3, but I could be mistaken.
But then if you also look at what's it called? Altar of Sorrows, way an actual like
Oh, I forgot about Altar.
Yeah,
That,
it's an
that was
That's what I
very
was just
cool.
saying. I
yeah,
just said
an
that just
actual
now.
an actual global event where the Beyond Light one is the Eventide Ruins, and it's not the ruins, sorry, it's the Eclipse Zone, and the Eclipse Zone doesn't really change anything almost at all from the game, right?
Yeah, there is only 3 Empire Hunts compared to the 9 Nightmare Hunts.
Like I definitely think story, not just like the story itself, like actual missions and progression of the story, because we have like I say Born in Darkness for the aspects and fragments, that is part of the story to me. I don't
I
see
guess
a
that is
side
something
stuff.
that we should bring up in this DLC's favor. They did introduce an entirely
So-
new subclass. That is a big
That's true.
thing. That is
And
that
it's-
should not be taken away.
And for PvE, 100% success.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
PvE, quite the failure.
For PvP, yeah,
PvP.
PvP, I'll give you that. It was it was disastrous. But PvE, I definitely think like great choice, great. Exotics, I'll say they're even because we got like Lament, amazing exotic. We got Mask of Bacchus, fun exotic to use. We got
Sitting there obsessed with that one.
I love it. 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 We got the
necrotic
Dawnblade
grip
mask,
are
which is great.
epic,
Necrotic
man.
grip,
Necrotic
which
grip
yeah.
is epic.
Necrotic Grip, I think, is the only
It's-
Warlock one worth talking about.
It's funny because both what's it called? Both Warlock ones are actually really, really good, and the other
Only
like,
one of
the-
them will see play, though.
Yeah, only the grip really will see play.
Even then, it's like, eh.
Yeah, It's
more
fun
like
to use.
cool,
It's-
It's fun to use. type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yep.
but like if we look at like exotic weapons, we got Divinity, Xeno from like the other one. You get
Xeno's good.
Lament. Yeah, exactly. You
Xeno's
get
for
Lament.
sure.
You get Eye of Tomorrow. So it's like I think the exotics are pretty good on both ends.
No Time to
Yeah.
Explain was pretty dope.
Oh yeah, No Time to Explain. I forgot about that.
But it
That
was
gun, I
dope
love the gun.
for half an hour.
Oh, I still love it in
No
PvP.
Time to Explain.
I
Yeah.
love it in PvP.
I mean, pulse rifles are really strong right now, so
It's a monster in PvP.
good in
Yeah.
PVE too.
It is.
It's just, I mean, I agree. The only problem with it though is yes,
It's
I
a
wouldn't
primer.
give up my heavy slap for it.
Yeah,
That is
Like,
a common,
that's-
common denominator with most.
that's everything,
Most
right?
primary.
The guillotine is still valuable. I can have fun.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I mean,
yes, it is.
guillotine opened up a lot of builds. The fact that you can run guillotine because then you can actually have a special exotic or a primary exotic and not have to worry about it anymore. Because guillotine is a god.
Yep, for sure. I agree with that too. I just
Still think that No Time to Explain could have been a legendary, but
well,
they,
you
they
remember
couldn't
in the
have done
podcast
nothing.
what I said, man. That's
I was there. I wrote it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't write my answer.
I know you do.
Oh,
And
I did.
I do agree with that.
The whole thing is scripted. He doesn't have a single visual thought in his head. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We do need like honestly legendaries like that have their own special perks.
No, but if you didn't watch the podcast, what I said was they could take all of these
Shitty exotics.
mid-range exotics, to not call them shitty, that are just they don't get any playtime because they're not top tier. They can't you can't justify them being an exotic. Tone down the perks, dumb them down a little bit, make them less efficient, and turn them all into strike-specific loot, raid loot. Like you could make this farmable and desirable loot. It's all there. It's in the game.
You know what I need them to
Instead,
do?
it sits in our vaults.
I need them to bring armor catalysts. That's what I want. I want armor catalysts for the exotics.
And they can't even give us all the weapon catalysts. They're
Which
gonna give
doesn't
you armor
fucking make
catalysts.
I don't fucking understand why. Please stop giving us stat boosting catalysts. Just give it an effect.
Dude, honestly, I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna give you a hard disagree on that. I would rather just get one to purely make it a yellow border, than have an effect at all.
Well, that's a thing. It's like there's so many that don't have any.
Hold on,
It's
hold
like,
on.
I just want a yellow border on it.
he would rather have it be
Like just
kind
like,
of
so it can drop orbs. Like if it did nothing else but just matched everything in my
The
that would make
OCD's
my
kicking up,
OCD part really happy.
huh?
I'll give it to you, Bungie. Don't make any changes. Just make it glowy.
But that's the thing too. Like, some guns don't need extra stuff like
It is
Thorn.
strong in PvP, Explorer. It is strong. It is strong in PvP.
But like think of Thorn. Thorn does not need an extra perk or anything like updated
Just
about
need-
it.
But if
for
they up
Catalyst.
the stats,
But-
if they up the stats, it's a fucking monster all of a sudden.
But like again, like you don't need to up the stats insanely. Like just give it a little bit of handling, like a tiny bit
Make
of
it
handling.
make it a
Or a tiny
120.
bit of stability.
Yeah, but at that point, that's the saddest catalyst I've ever seen.
But would you rather have a catalyst like this so you can at least make orbs or something of it,
No,
or
I would
would you
rather
rather
they
have
actually make a
yeah,
good
let's go.
catalyst. I would rather they use their brain, spend some time, and develop an appropriate catalyst to improve the gun in some way, shape, or form. Increase magazine size, 3 bullets. Increase reload speed,
Maybe.
like
Maybe,
some
yeah.
fucking thing.
I
Increase
would-
the timer on the soul, on the
Or
Var
honestly,
soul. Like
I would even give something about it to make it better in, like, forget about PvP. Give it an extra perk that makes it better in PvE, so that you have the gun being useful in both. Because it's already a god tier PvP weapon. You don't need to make it any better in PvP. But like, imagine Thorn being useful in PvE. It's already kind of useful because of necrotic grips.
yeah.
But who would have used their heavy? But like, give us a reason to not use heavies, to not use not
But they
use lament.
can't. They can't. It's impossible. That is not possible. That is not their fault. You cannot justify in end game content to use anything other than the highest DPSing exotics. That means Anarchy, Xeno used to be Izanagi's, that kind of stuff. But my idea solves that problem. Take Thorn. Don't make it an exotic anymore. I'm just using it as an example. Dumb down the perk quite significantly so that it's not god tier, and make it a legendary to chase from, say, the new Scarlet Keep Nightfall. Like, just so much loot that could be in the game that's like really desirable. Imagine
Fair.
all of these like half tier exotics being legendaries with just really dope perks that are from specific activities in the game. It would be so cool. But I don't know. They don't want to do that. And they don't gotta make them OP. I'm saying dumb them down. Make the perks more gimmicky. Just it's a really cool legendary weapon. You're gonna use it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I
Like-
like Adorned. I know a lot of people don't, but I like it.
Which one? Sorry.
Adored.
I don't not like it. It's
I like
a
it.
nice one. But
I wasn't specifically talking about you. There are a lot of people who don't.
but that right there, that is sort of an exotic, like that's hitting on the point that I'm trying to make. You're using something that doesn't exist on other weapons, as in it has two builds on the same gun, a PvP build and a PvE build that
Yeah.
you can swap between. That's a little
Like a
bit
nice
gimmicky,
trace for it, yeah.
but really useful. Throw it in a fucking strike instead of giving it away and have people chase for it. And then you can random roll the masterwork just to make it so that it's farmable.
There you go.
Or like you can even, yeah, I guess just the master with no return or anything else.
Just the barrel could be random roll. Like there's other things that you can make random rolls to
You could do it-
chase the
you could do
god
it like
roll.
the
You know?
You could do it like the Hawk Moon is. Just have it re-roll everything except for the intrinsic perk that you haven't.
Well, in this case, the two main perks are two of the three slots, so you can't do it with the adored. But you
Yeah,
could
but
do
it's
it.
another
That's what I'm
weapon.
saying about these other exotics. But for that to even be worth, like, okay, Hawkmoon, what's the point of having Hawkmoon? For what activity? You gonna run around with one bullet in the chamber in PvP?
You'd be surprised how good Hawk Moon is
I'm
in
not
PvP.
surprised. I've been
It's
melting
fine.
anybody who's tried to come at me with Hawkmoon has got their fucking ass handed to them. So,
The gun is so good. The only
it's
problem
not.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's
I
not
love the
good.
gun.
It's okay. It is good
Yeah.
because we love it from its predecessor. That is
Oh no,
why
I'm
it's good.
loving the way it feels because its feeling and its aim assist is one of the highest. Like the aim assist example is one of the highest in any hand cannon, and it's just
Fair
a good.
enough. I don't
feeling
argue
weapon,
that, but it's still
Yeah.
nothing compared to the
I-
options that you have.
I 100% agree. I agree with you that it's not exotic. I agree with you. It's not exotic. That I 100% agree with.
Hawkmoon against a good roll, True Prophecy. Hawkmoon's gonna lose every
Well,
time.
yeah, because True Prophecy good rolled beats Thorn, beats all the other exotics too. The only one it doesn't beat is really maybe Ace of Spades. That's it. But it beats Sturm, it beats all the other ones. Like you can't.
My dire promise hangs with True Prophecy.
No, I don't know if it beats sperm. The sperm.
Sturm.
Nothing beats sperm.
Sturm.
I don't think it beats sperm.
If you have if you're doing like both you 1v1 shooting at each other, Sturm, you'll probably be able to win 9 out of 10. If you're going in a normal game where like, oh, I just gotta kill off someone, you will kill the next Sturm player because usually you're running the Rampage, True Prophecy. If you're running,
I'd argue it depends on the range, and there's lots of other factors.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a clear, decisive
No,
victory. I don't think we can just take this and this.
Exploder, like, yes, that would give you a reason to grind more, but I'm saying that it's still the fundamental issue that it's going to be very limited playtime for you to use anything other than top tier DPS exotics. And
Oh, for PvE, yeah, for sure.
yeah, well, PvE and PvP is the only place that other exotics shine.
Yeah,
But
because PvP, a lot of it's by feeling too in PvP.
yes,
A lot of it's like you like
yes.
this kind of weapon, so you're good. Like, you know which weapon is actually really good in PvP, and you won't believe it when I tell you?
Like,
Tommy's matchbook is actually really good in PvP now.
it's okay.
It's the problem is one.
I think you need
one,
to. I think you need to adjust what really good is.
Yeah.
You need to
The
lower.
problem is-
You need to raise that bar up a little bit.
You know
Okay.
what's shockingly good
Okay.
right now in PvP? Bows. That's not
No,
really
I've
good.
seen-
It's just shockingly
No, no,
better
but
than
like-
you think.
Okay, if we look at what is the top tier in PvP right now? 120s. 120s are ever in PvP, whether it's Steady Hand, what's it called, Sturm, or True Prophecy. Those are the god tiers of PvP
Duke?
right now. Or
Duke.
Duke, yeah, like whoever has an
If you
old
have
Duke
it,
from, yeah, those are the god tier weapons in PvP now. That's like
Mhm.
hands down, nobody can argue with that. After that, it comes to what's it called, the 140s, which are the Ace
Dire
and
Promise.
yeah, Ace and Dire Promise,
Forward.
Hawk,
I wouldn't
and-
even say dire. I would say the exotic 140s, and then you can talk about legendary
the pulse.
140s.
and the
I've been
and
pretty
the
good with my Dire
and
still,
what's
man.
called what is that thing called? The only other weapons that aren't hand cannons are up there in A tier are Vigilance Wing and
No time to explain.
No Time to Explain. Yeah. Then if you go like to the good like B tier and below, Tommy's matchbook surprisingly is top of B tier when that gun is god awful. I don't know how it's up there, but it's
But it's
you use
B,
that
it's
PvP?
B tier, so that already
know,
is
I know.
like.
So it was what was like Frostbolt using it or something, and everybody's like, and like 5 people were like, yeah.
No, I saw a couple people using it and tried it out, and it's like actually it feels way better than the other auto rifles. Because like if you like using Gnawing Hunger, for example, you're gonna love using that Tommy's matchbook.
Yeah.
And Gnawing Hunger is still good. It's just you're
It's the
you're not
old
gonna
meta.
hang with
It's the old meta. They
Yeah.
changed it.
yeah, you're just not gonna hang with 120s.
But it would be cool if they're never gonna change it. It's just I don't know. How would you guys feel instead of having all this giant pool of exotics? It's 6 exotics that come out every year, but another 50 legendary weapons instead that are cool. Your 21% Delirium, your Python, your Hush, you name it, man. There's so many pursuit weapons that were cool that are now out of the game that could be toned down. You know, make 21% Delirium a little bit less of what it was, so that it's not so broken, and reintroduce it as pursuit weapons that you can grind and they can grind.
I think you'll agree with this. The biggest problem they have is that exotics don't feel exotic anymore. They're just
That's
like
what I agree. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. To
You-
make them
you get an
legendaries
exotic?
instead.
you literally get an exotic and you don't care. Like remember D1, anytime an exotic dropped, it was first of all, it's rare as fuck.
Mhm.
Second of all, I can't think of a single exotic in D1 that was actually useless. And like, let's be honest, almost 90% of the exotics we have are useless.
Yeah,
Right now.
that is the sad part. Like the amount,
like-
the percentage of exotics that are in use is very, very low.
Exactly. But like, look at Destiny 1. How hard was it to even get you any exotic? And then you got Soros, you got Red Death, you got the hand cannons that were insane. You
They
got
just- They wanted to
Invective
change
Ice
it from like
Breaker.
a weapon meta game to a mechanic game. They said it. They're like, we don't want to introduce weapons like Gallahorn anymore or Icebreaker or whatever because the activities become about using these guns. And I can feel that to a certain extent, you know. But then you gotta be smarter with your game design. I love they nerfed the shit out of the snipers, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we don't want you guys to stay back and snipe from safety, and we're gonna tone down the damage." And then here comes Garden of Salvation.
You're not just I say like you have bosses where you can't even get near the guy
No, they
at all.
cut Garden of Salvation, both bosses. Like, what?
Yeah, the consecrated mind and the final one. You couldn't get near them. You had
And
to
they're
snipe
both
them.
precision
giant
based
spots.
bosses. You can't even
Yeah,
splash damage.
Like
Crazy.
until Xeno came out, it did nothing.
Yep.
But I think it's honestly more the armor. Like the armor is a bigger issue. Is a big
No. Oh.
Yeah, I think the armor is a much bigger offender than the weapons. Because weapons, you can always say that one player might enjoy this
Rotating.
playstyle over others. Oh my god, are you just driving them on the chair? Nice. Like, you know what I mean? Like one player could always like one gun over another and
Yeah.
be like do better with it. Like PvP is the best example. One player could just be better than you with a specific gun than that if he's just a better player than you because of, you know, positioning and everything else.
And no jumps. I get it.
Yeah, I think their main problem is just specifically armor. Armor is some of it is actually useless. What was the one you were talking about, Leaves, for Titan that for SMGs?
Hold on. How about bombardiers for hunters?
That was,
Dude,
that-
don't even. Okay. You know what? You know what the worst part is? I opened my fucking exotic gift today and I got the bombardiers.
Oh my god.
I'm like, of all fucking things, you give me this shit.
Like,
that was Meow talking about yesterday, but they're peacekeepers.
yeah.
Oh, meow. Sorry, nice. But yeah, it's like, who the fuck would even use that? Like that is, it's so useless. So useless.
I think it's cool that there are the ability to build and play the way you want. I just think that it wouldn't be horrible for them to, and I know everybody hates when this is said, but there's in these type of games there's always going to be a meta, and maybe it's just more. It's just good to have just a shift, like a regular shift. Like, hey, we noticed that these guns aren't being used very much, so we're gonna make them stronger, so you use them.
Well,
Yeah,
for sure.
like,
The problem is they aren't doing that with the other exotics that are useless. They're just buffing the archetype, and it's like, okay, I'm just never gonna use this shitty exotic. Use a legendary of that archetype.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
perfect
we
exotic
can
sucks.
bring up a game that I use as an example
Warzone.
quite often.
Well,
Warzone.
let's talk about Warzone. Yeah.
Let's talk
And-
about Warzone. No, but
And like,
same thing. They shift the meta. Each season, meta shifts.
honestly, Leave, it's not the effect that makes it useless. Because like the SMG effect, the problem is, who the fuck needs their SMG to auto reload for them when it's hooked away? Like they have the reloading stuff. Like look at what's I think the Armatarium, the Titan one, which reloads your assault rifles and your heavies.
Mm.
Look, I'm not saying every exotic that exists is a gold or a jackpot,
Oh, I know,
but
I know.
there
I
are
think-
games that exist where like they specifically look at what's being used and what's not. So like
Yes,
a game I'm gonna have my own little version of Warzone.
Again, I
obnoxious
understand.
version.
I agree with you that they need to do that. It's just that they haven't been specifically for exotic armor. Like weapons, I can give you that they do buff and nerf weapons so that we've had changing metas. Like last season, it was all 160s and auto rifles and 600s. Now it's all 120s and the two pulse rifles. It's like it is changing that, but armor, that stuff never changes.
Pulse rifles is
problem
not a meta
is-
change. The hand cannon's sure, but it's still been a hand cannon meta for a long
Yes.
time. And it was auto rifles last season in general, with a few specific ones. This season is just 2 pulse rifles. That does not count as a meta. But the more important, like what Exploder just wrote in chat, is so on point. The meta shifts to abilities in an FPS game. You fucked up, and that is a huge fuck up because that's where we're at. We're at a meta where it's ability spam, and it makes absolutely no goddamn sense.
Again, at least it's some sort of meta shift. My problem is
No,
with
no,
armor never shifts. Like
But this-
when
this
have you seen
isn't-
armor change?
This isn't League of Legends though. We don't want
Yeah.
abilities to become meta.
Yeah, that's not a meta shift. That doesn't count as a meta shift.
I agree with you. I would prefer if it wasn't focused all on the ability with stasis and everything, obviously. But again, like that's something at least it's different than last season. But the armor
I get
since
what you're
an
trying
armor
to say.
came out, it just never. That's the problem because like, that's why exotics are never getting used. That's why you'll see a gun be useless and become useful. Like that's why we saw Trinity Ghoul, completely useless exotic, become amazing last season. You saw what's it called?
But did you know why Close said that though? Specifically, what was behind that?
Sorry.
But why did Trinity Ghoul become viable?
Because it gave him a catalyst that made it good in like.
But why specifically?
What do you mean? Why specifically?
Well, so the argument we had on the podcast was is that these exotics are good exotics in themselves, are fine exotics, but you have to make an argument for yourself when you're playing these games at high end content. Is what's the most powerful, right?
Yeah.
Guillotine gave us the ability to
Yeah,
use these different weapons.
You
It had
But
nothing
here's
to
the
do
never
thing.
with the
use Trinity
catalyst.
Ghoul
No,
in a
no, no, no,
raid
no. But
if it wasn't for Fallen Guillotine.
oh, I agree with you on that. But at the same time, you never would have used guillotine. Sorry, would never you would have used the Trinity Ghoul with guillotine if it didn't have the exotic. If it didn't have sorry, the catalyst.
The
If
catalyst,
that,
yeah, I agree
yeah,
with that too.
so I say it's like they changed something about the gun to make it better and usable.
Yes, they do.
Forget about guillotine existing because guillotine obviously is the reason why we can use them because we don't need a heavy. But like specifically for the gun itself, it's not like it was good and guillotine made it usable. It was good and then they made it good and then they added guillotine. But armor, the fact that there's no catalyst, no nothing like that, we can never change the armor. It will always be bad and not usable. Like you said it yourself, why would you like you can't ever not use Worm Husk in PvP, right?
The only
Or-
thing is if they do the same again, the same thing I'm saying about weapons. Tone down the exotic perks on the armor that's not being used and throw it into end game content to be farmed.
Or
Like
like, if they don't want to
raids,
do that, again, or if they don't want to do that, update them every season. Like take some exotic armor that you have that aren't usable, change them up the perks a little bit. Make it so the next time you get a like your old peacekeepers are gonna be whatever, either unusable or the same. But the next time you get your peacekeepers, it's gonna have like this perk on it.
that would
so that-
infuriate too many people. They'd have to change them and give it to them.
Or give them change the ones that they have existing. I don't think people are gonna care about peacekeepers being from they have faster stove SMGs to being much better. than
No,
what they
but
do.
I'm
Like,
saying you can't. If you have a pair of peacekeepers, you can't change it and make them good and then force you to regrind it. That's not.
okay, then don't regrind. Don't regrind. Just
You have to
what's it
give
called?
to
Just
people. Yeah.
yeah, and just change the perk. Just change the perk or what it is. Like they use the other guns. But like, that's what I mean. It's like they need to at least change the perks of like don't do all the exotics at once. Just say every season. It's like you see the
See,
Two or-
I have a slight disagreement. I wish that they would forget about no next season, right? They just skip a season and just rework existing shit and improve it.
Now, again, that's fine too. I'm just looking at things that aren't going to require them to change the entire like system of a game, right?
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, if you don't want to change the whole system and just want to be easier, just change the perks that exist on them.
Yeah.
Because they've never changed armor. The only armor change we've seen is other than armor 2.0. The only armor change we've seen for exotics where the removal of auto reload. That's really it.
Which was so sad. Again, taking away power from the player, which is
I 100%
the
agree with
wrong
auto reload
direction.
being I agree auto reload being removed. That shit's busted as fuck. It made bosses be literally paperweight. Like there was no
That's
reason.
an exotic perk. I don't know.
I don't think it should exist on everybody. If it was on you, then yes, or like whoever had the boots on. But it just made no sense to give the entire team. If they could have made it just to only you have auto reload. The only problem with that is then it makes everybody have to have warlocks essentially. Everyone has to run warlock. Like I think that perk was too
I
powerful for
disagree.
the
I
game.
think we need more things that makes us feel too powerful. Instead of that being too powerful, there should have been something comparable. Like we need to. That was the whole issue with Destiny 2 when it launched. That was the whole issue in Destiny 1 midway through the game's lifetime, and in the end they just turned it up to 200. They just let people go. We're supposed to be fucking god slayers, right? That's the
You know what
the
it
whole
is?
point. We need to be powerful, and we're not. We're struggling to stay powerful and fucking
In-
min-max the meta.
The more I think about it, you know what it is. To be honest with you, it's the fact that we don't have hard mode raids. Because I was like thinking about Destiny 1, like Destiny 1, like I'm like the one thing that even no matter how strong we were, hard mode raids were always some challenge because no revives, number one, which was very big.
Well, no
And number
revives
two-
per encounter.
Yeah, per encounter. And number two was like because wasn't the hard mode raid always like above you in light level?
I don't believe so. I think you were able to match it.
I'm pretty sure it was like 31 for like level
Maybe,
31 for
maybe.
Crawl.
I don't remember. You could be right. You could be
Something
right.
like that. But yeah, like, I feel like they need to add either contest mode or hard mode raids as a thing. Like a lot of people ask
Well,
for
you
that.
know what they said, right? They were like, well, we don't want a hard mode because that's how the normal mode should be. That like,
But that's fine. But then why don't you add contest? Give us contest mode, because contest mode is literally just locking your light to be 20 light under, and that's like the Deep Stone Crypt. The funnest I've had in that raid was the day one we did it, because it was challenging. We're just blasting through it like it's nothing after week 1.
I like day 2.
Like,
I like day 2.
Day 3 was kind of boring. Day 2 was fun.
Yeah,
yeah, like it's fun the
I
first time you
agree,
do it, and
Explorer, I
it's fun when you blow through it. Give us the option to have that difficulty back.
yeah. And again, loot. That is the biggest issue, is the lack of fucking loot. And my quarrel is the loot is in the game. It's in the exotics. The perks are there. It's fucking use them as legendaries and dumbed down versions.
Yeah.
Like, here, let me pull up Dim. Let's use some examples.
And like you don't have to make, like, if you're afraid of them being super powerful because of that, you can have like instead of
You dumb
legendaries, I
them
don't know.
down. That's it.
Yeah, either
Tone
dump
them
them
the fuck
down or make them so like some like can't work at the same time together. If you're afraid of like combos that are way too strong.
Alright. Sweet business. Why could that not be an auto rifle that is strike specific?
That's true.
Why?
Fucking awesome auto rifle. I love that thing.
Yeah, but you're never gonna use it because it's an exotic. But it is an awesome auto rifle. The concept is cool. But make
Or
it a
just a trolling
legendary
thing.
and tone it down a little bit, you know?
There's no archetype like that at all.
Yeah. Huckleberry, same thing. Dope gun. Tone it down. Make it a legendary. Make it a strike specific legendary.
I mean, Huckleberry toned down is subsistence, to be fair. If you
Doesn't
tone
really
down
ta-
Huckleberry.
doesn't really take away your ammo, does it? That way it doesn't half your fucking
Oh.
ammo capacity.
I thought Huckleberry is auto reloaded for you.
I don't dislike Huck or self-subsistence. I just don't know what it
I
does
like-
to your ammo.
Yeah, so
I
I,
feel
yeah,
the same
they,
way.
they can make that. So, like, you know how they said about Adept Nightfall weapons from GMs, how they can add that? They can make that so it has the enhanced subsistence where it
They're
doesn't
not
take
going
away your
to.
ammo.
You saw what the
Yeah, I
adepts are in trials. The
Oh,
adept
they're
thing is
garbage.
pathetic.
Today's is
Especially
pretty
because
good.
Huh?
Today's is good.
Well, the problem with it is that it replaces your mod slot that you have, not give you another mod
It's not
slot.
like to make it adept is what I mean. That's why I say pathetic. It is not adept compared to what adept has meant in the past in this game.
Yeah, like Adept used to be like obviously they're not gonna give us the old Adept because we can't have two
It's just
guns
it's
with.
endless. Like hard light. Why could that not be a legendary auto rifle? That just changes elements.
It doesn't need to
Why
have
not?
like
It
just
doesn't
give
need
it the syrup rounds and
Yeah.
make it choose that element.
Skybrenner's Oath. Why could that not be a legendary scout rifle?
God, why does that have to be a gun at all?
Oh, that too. Trace rifles. Why can't they be legendaries with smaller ammo capacity?
No kidding. I'd like to answer that question answered. Come on, Luke.
Wait, there
Duality.
are no legendary.
Duality. Why would that not be a strike-specific shotgun to get? Wouldn't that be a fucking dope legendary shotgun to farm rolls for?
That's true. I agree. Yeah,
Like,
because it's also not busted at all. Like duality.
Endless in here, man. It's all in here. It's all in the
It's-
game already.
Because even if duality was legendary, you're probably still better off with Fellwinters. No, you're not probably. You're 100% still better off with Fellwinters.
Colony. Why couldn't
Isn't that
why
make me
couldn't
big
that
salty?
be- Colony. Why couldn't that be a legendary grenade launcher with less tracking? Why? Why not?
Everything, even Thunderlords.
Two-tailed fox. Why could that not be a legendary rocket launcher? Like it's endless. The options are here. They're in the game.
Or honestly, like you can even just, if they don't want them to be legendary, it's like, oh, because then these are just make a new tier, call it mythic or whatever you want, and then just lower it down.
But they
Dumb it
have
down.
pursuit weapons have been in the game before that are mini.
Yeah.
Like Recluse felt more exotic than other
Yeah.
exotics. You know what I mean? Like Mountaintop
that's true.
felt more exotic than any other grenade launcher except for Witherhorde. So there are-
Anta felt more fun than almost any exotic gun.
Yeah, but I'm just using it as an example. Like it's all
No,
here.
right.
The
That's true, that's
perks, the mods, the creative, thought process. It's all been done. It's all in the game already.
Or even yeah, like,
Cerberus
21.
plus one. Cerberus plus one. Why could that not be a exotic or a legendary auto rifle that has alternate RPMs for different damages?
Yeah.
It's not game breaking. It's not gonna change shit. Like we can go on. This shit is everywhere, and we haven't. Let's not even start with armor. You know.
Yeah. Peacekeepers, bombardiers.
Peacekeepers.
Anyway.
I would like to understand why though new exotics can't at least be stronger than their legendary counterparts.
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know why.
I'm tired of wanting Fellwinters and not being able to get it, and not even able to get it from my goddamn legendaries that exist.
Next season.
Yeah, but I know next season, but I also paid $10 to get Duality, which is hardly better than Chaperone.
It's not better than
It's
Chaperone,
not.
by the way. Not even close. Duality is unfortunately.
It's a
I
gimmick.
love the gun. I love using the gun. It's a lot of fun. But if I wanted Slug, I would go Chaperone. If I wanted normal, I would go Fellwinter or Seraph. I would never want both at the same time. It's just yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Is what it is, to be honest.
It's very unfortunate. Like, look at this. I'm looking at my Hawkmoon real quick. 140 RPM, 78 impact. I look at my Dire Promise, 84 impact. Like that's why I said my Dire Promise hangs and it melts anybody that's came across with Hawkmoon.
But does your dire promise still make a caw sound when you get a headshot on it with it? No, no, Chloe. No, it doesn't. You lose. Move on. There's a bling factor there you're just not recognizing.
Oh, dude, what you see?
Wait,
That's the opposite. I have so much sentimental value.
Hey guys, Leebs here, your Klommunity ambassador. I wanted to take a moment and explain why I took this part out. There was a lot of content in between the conversation where where it ended off a moment ago, and where it's going to pick up. Things to get a little bit heated. If you were on stream, you caught it. It wasn't anything too much, but too much profanity for me to quack out. But I did want to share with you the results. What ended up happening is there was a disagreement among some of the performance of recent exotics, specifically Hawkmoon, versus other 140s that exist out in the world. And DT and myself were on the Hawkmoon is fine. Well, I was on the Hawkmoon is fine. DT was on the Hawkmoon is amazing, and Chloe was on the Hawkmoon is absolute trash bus. We ended up going into a private match and testing those theories out, where we came to the conclusion that Hawkmoon isn't as bad as Chloe thought, but Dire Promise is better than we thought. But like I said, I'm going to share the results, the realization of that that we had, or at least that I had, coming through that. But I wanted to take some of the stuff out. It was kind of filler. It was kind of a lot of back and forth banter. It didn't really get anywhere. But I want to show the results of that. But I want to take a minute to explain why I cut it out. But after we're done here, please leave your comments on the Hawkmoon. The whole idea of this conversation has been so far that we are watering down exotics, or we're receiving watered down exotics. And there was a disagreement on whether or not they're actually being watered down. I think at the end here, we all agreed that exotics of today are much different than the exotics of yesterday, D1, of even early D2. And, we don't like that. So leave your opinions in the comments below. I want to hear what you think of Hawkmoon, what you think of the current state of the exotics that are being released, and let us know what you thought. All right, see you guys in the stream.
51, but I also have opening shot and rangefinder, so it's actually higher once I shoot and aim.
So the Hawkmoon has 2 more range. It's at 61 versus my 59.
The other thing on Hawkmoon, because it's the range, like, don't forget that you are going to be able to get rangefinder and all the range increasing rifle and barrels that you haven't gotten yet. Let's forget about those now, but just remember that you are going to have that coming as well. Alright, let me see. Are you on Hawkmoon or you go on that promise? I have the Hawkmoon up right now. Let's see here.
What you mean middle?
Nice one, Fly. Yeah, just go to the middle.
Like my new color. Pretty, right?
Oh my god, blue and red.
They're red. Oh, I had to change the pants. Hold on.
Alright,
All right, so,
So,
let's just use this lane here. Go
Alright,
back
Right.
off.
So.
DT.
so if
Oh,
I shoot you in the head here, I deal
hold on,
70.
hold on. Before you do anything.
Well, we're not looking at range right now. We're just looking just right in front of us, like 70 damage to the head.
Yeah, 70 damage on that.
Yeah, see, like the impact doesn't matter in that one specifically, because that's how PvP is. Oh, sorry, you're not on Dire Promise. I thought you
70.
were.
No, that's damage.
Yeah.
Says it's 70 on Dire Promise.
Okay. Okay, Ace, 70. Like that's their problem. Like they made impact not relevant in PvP
Oh,
really
let's
on
see
these 140.
Hold on.
70 on Thorn.
70.
All right, I'll keep
Still
walking around. Wait,
70. Hold on. Yeah.
Hit me.
55. Okay, so that's the drop off. So stand still for a second.
There we go.
Oh, that missed. 31.
All right.
Same spot.
All right. So how far is that from Leaves here?
I'm at 42 meters. If you shoot me in the head, Chloe,
30.
damage.
30 with Hawk Moon.
All right, it's 42 meters.
30 with Hawk Moon. 55 with Dire Promise. Okay, that's
And
almost double.
All right. And now, what is your what's it called? Okay, what are the best hand cannons in the game right now?
Here.
The for
87 with True Prophecy.
Yeah,
True Prophecy-
Prophecy, Steady Hand are obviously better. I'm not saying that
They're
they're not
fine.
better. I'm just saying
know,
that
okay.
Dire Promise
Okay,
is better than Hawk Moon.
But would you say Ace of Spades better than Dire Promise? Ace of Spades.
Most likely, yeah. Yes,
It's 36
maybe.
damage. It's not interesting. 36 damage.
But it's because it has a perk that can be procced consistently. That's why. Not
the
its base gun.
Yeah, but like this range here where we're fighting, this is not how you're gonna be. You're supposed to be one like.
This is how I'm using my hand cannons at all times. What do you mean?
Dude, most hand cannons are 36 and under. Their effective range is supposed to be 36 and below. That's the hand cannon.
DT, we just did a damage test at
Yeah,
the same
but
drop
again-
off where the Dire Promise has almost double the damage. How can you still defend that it's a better hand cannon?
Because you're not using it at effective ranges. If you're looking at 36 and under, it's the exact same hand cannon, except one has better
That doesn't matter. All ranges matter. You play at different ranges. You telling me
All
you
ranges
don't,
matter.
you telling me you don't use the hand cannon at this range right now where we're standing in PvP?
I
Are you
do,
trying
but
to say that?
no, but okay, I do, but you tell me I'm gonna run around always up. When I see somebody at 40, I'm
No,
gonna have to kill
That's
them.
not
No, I'm
what I
gonna
say. But
no, because I've
they're
been
gonna
running
move
around.
around. They're gonna back off. They're gonna move around. You're gonna be close. You're gonna. But if you get into this distance, this gun is gonna outperform every time. It's
At the
almost
higher
double
range,
the damage.
yes, at higher ranges, I 100% give you that. It will outperform it. But also, again, you're also looking at it with this gun missing perks as
The
well.
stubbornness is incredible, brother. Like, how can you then not say that it's not a better hand cannon? And there's only one perk that you can roll.
Well, no, you can replace the rifle. You can place the what's it called.
I don't think so. It's just a question mark.
Oh,
No,
68.
they all reload. The question mark you just don't get right now, but you can reload all. You can replace.
Okay, well that's
all
good.
the-
I didn't know
So
that.
you can have insane range. You can have rangefinder or opening shot with the hammer forged rifle and the stuff.
But what I'm trying to say is, if they're like your words, the exact same hand cannon within the quote unquote
Their
effective range,
Yes.
but then this one is almost twice as damaging, right outside the damage drop off range. How can you then say that that gun is better if they're the same within the range?
Because if I'm looking at effective range of where I'm fighting most of the time, which one to me feels and works better? Which one reloads better, handles better, and has better stability on it, like to actually come back and hit the shots better with it. Like aim assist and everything is also big. Don't forget that. Like you know that too.
Ouch, man.
I
Well,
know.
Hawkmoon's out. That fucking solves that for me.
Yeah, Aquaman is.
I'm
not a good
literally
hand
gonna
cannon.
go throw this in the vault and put it. Actually, I'm gonna infuse this into my Dire Promise.
It's a much smarter decision.
Like, I'm actually impressed that it's almost doubling, and I don't even have like a really good roll in my Dire.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
It's
to.
a
that's what I'm trying to
rangefinder
explain.
opening with, and it's I'm convinced. I'm done arguing.
But DT is as stubborn as a fucking mountain goat over here, still trying to talk about the fact that Hawkmoon is better. I'm mind blown. Mind blown.
Three tap.
Oh, you some bitch.
I'm just saying 3 tap.
Yeah, it is.
Wait, that's every hand cannon. Come on, man. Well, except for True Proxy's Rampage.
Oh, it's not a hunter. No, I mean, look, it's still significantly underperforming that of the meta right now, but that's not what the argument was.
No,
Yeah,
not it.
still, if I see you playing Dire, I'm a little disappointed. Ace of Spades, I would, even though it performs less than Dire, the ability to have your map up, invaluable. I'm gonna argue that.
Ace is the thing that I'm actually surprised that I don't understand how it's because it's same impact, but the range on Ace is almost double that of Dire. I don't know how the
They
range.
don't have the same impact.
Ace, yeah, they're
Dire
both 80.
Oh, Ace. I said Dire and
I
Hawk.
was saying Dire. I think Dire is the one that really surprised me that it's lower than Dire.
Here. Close stand there again.
Done?
Let me do one more thing.
Yeah, so here, one sec. So this is 70 from
Hold
Dire.
up. Go 42 again. Keep it consistent.
I think like 38 meters or something is where the cutoff.
That's
is.
where we were before. I'm just gonna keep it consistent.
So I'm hitting you for 35 with Ace. Let me see my Dire. So 51 on the first shot because of opening shot, and 40 on the second shot because of opening is no longer there. Oh, also range. Does the rangefinder add that much range? It adds more than 30 range.
That's a lot of range.
Yep, that's that, man. That's the way the cookie crumbles. So I mean, I guess yeah. So what the best place to stand? What'd you say was 36?
Yeah, 36 is where I believe is the effective range of hand cannons, if I remember correctly. At 36.
That's the one. Okay, so this one.
Oh, 69. Nice. All right.
So like this one. Alright, let's see.
One sec, let me see your stream.
Oh, you moved.
Oh, sorry, your stream crashed. Let me reload it.
Stand still. 90 with my true prophecy.
Oh yeah, True Prophecy, they all had 90 in the head.
Out.
True Prophecy is racked, dude.
90. Yeah, no, I love this.
Oh,
80
what do you have?
at this range.
What do you have?
Huh?
What do you have on your True Prophecy?
Rangefinder, rampage.
Oh, you son of a bitch, you got that one. I have rangefinder and explosive round,
Look
which
at
is still nice.
all the way back here now. 30 here.
One second.
Hold on.
Okay.
I hit for 32 with Sturm, yeah.
Hold on.
90 on leaves and 32 on claw.
54 from here.
I lost.
90 on